The rumors were just validated by Kris Kristofferson's own family, and it is even extra heartbreaking than all of us notion. The United States' big name fought a terrible infection in silence for years. Kris stored making art even when things have been very awful. He wrote songs and began a final ebook that was now not finished whilst he died. The truth, approximately how robust he turned into and what he left at the back of Barbaras, has now been instructed by using his circle of relatives. You will not have the ability to say anything approximately what they stated. His birthday is June 22, 1936, and he changed into born in Brownsville, Texas, very close to Mexico. It became a small city. Kris grew up in a strict and orderly domestic as his father turned into an Air Force officer. He got something greater from residing close to the border, even though being exposed to Mexican music, society, and language at a young age. Kris absolutely spoke Spanish before he discovered English. As a baby, his mother continually advised him to treat all and sundry the identical, and he by no means forgot how badly Mexican human beings were handled again then. He was also suffering from the loud tune and fairs where he grew up. Kris's own family moved round plenty due to his dad's job. He lived in lots of locations, even out of doors of America. He had seen a whole lot of the arena by the point he became 16 years vintage. But he usually thought of his teenagers in Brownsville, regardless of wherein they went. He stated it became one of the nice instances of his lifestyles. Once he turned into accomplished with university, he were given a Rhodes Scholarship to visit England and take a look at Oxford University. It changed into an honor to be right here. He spent plenty of time analyzing writers like William Blake, even as he became at Oxford reading English literature. But he couldn't stop thinking about song, even when he became studying. He put together a small band and kept writing songs. From that factor on, he started to peer making songs as more than only a laugh hobby. He came up with his personal manner by way of reading literature and writing tune at the same time. What a groovy tale approximately, Kris. He wrote his first song while he became best 11 years old. It changed into known as I Hate Your Ugly Face. The words had been humorous and a touch infantile, however they showed how nicely he ought to write about robust feelings. In one line, it stated, I simply hope you're depressing, you sorry-looking mess. It changed into most effective, the beginning of his lengthy profession as a singer-songwriter. That short music gave you a taste of how honest he would be in his later work. It changed into as a Rhodes Scholar that he graduated from Oxford in 1960. He then joined the U.S. Army and fast became a captain. He learned tough things like how to fly helicopters and end Ranger training. While Kris was in West Germany with the 8th Infantry Division, he gave the look of he had a shiny destiny in the provider. But Kris honestly desired something else. In 1965, he was offered a dream job teaching English at West Point. Many human beings could have cherished that activity, but Kris's answer stunned each person. His heart informed him to come to be a musician, so he did. His choice made his family unhappy. Because they have been proud of their war records, they were truly mad. They stopped being buddies with him. After some years, his spouse also left him. Kris changed into going through a few hard times. However, additionally, they gave him the ache and grief that he used to write songs. It wasn't easy to stay in Nashville. Kris labored as a cleanser at Columbia Recording Studios from 1965 to 1969 and made handiest 58 a week. He left demo tapes on tables at the same time as he wiped clean the floors inside the hopes that a person important would listen. But it wasn't smooth to face out, in particular while Johnny Cash become around. When Cash failed to concentrate his tapes, Kris did something crazy to get his interest. Kris took out a helicopter from his element time activity with the National Guard on June 17th, 1969. Dexa. He flew it right to Johnny Cash's residence and landed it on the grass there, his spouse yelling that someone had landed a helicopter in their yard, waking him up. Cash at the start thought it might be a loopy fan and concept approximately shooting on the helicopter, but Cash couldn't help, however, concentrate when Kris came out with a logger and a tape in the different hand. Sunday Morning Coming Down became the song on that tape. He played it live on his TV display. Cash stated no while the community asked him to change the phrases. He sang the line, "Lord, I changed into stoned," just the manner Kris wrote it, even as looking Kris straight in the attention. It turned into a large hit. It went to #1 on the United States of America charts and one song of the 12 months. Also, Kris's life will never be the same again. Kris went from being a purifier to a well-known singer-songwriter in just a few months. By the give up of 1970, he had written 3 of the 5 songs that had been up for a Grammy. A lot of famous humans like Janis Joplin, Waylon Jennings, and Ray Price commenced to record his songs. Kris said, "Searching back, that song made it possible for me to end my activity." Kris commenced getting the attention he earned as he became more a hit. He was made a member of the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1985. Then, in 2004, he became a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, in conjunction with greats like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. Kris became even extra happy with this award due to the fact he discovered about its stay on TV at some stage in an interview. He also gained the Johnny Mercer Award and the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award for his paintings. Kris Kristofferson's upward thrust in Hollywood is also complete of exciting occasions. In 1973, the film Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid gave him his big smash. He performed Billy the Kid. Kris changed into 36 years old, which turned into lots younger than the 12-months-old criminal he played. It failed to count number, although people truly liked how his age made him smarter and extra deeply felt. Kris did extra than simply act inside the film. He worked to get Bob Dylan to come back. Dylan changed into only intended to jot down a track for the movie at the start. But he ended up making the whole music and even had a small component inside the film. Knocking on Heaven's Door, a track Dylan wrote, became a chief hit, one of the most well-known songs from the movie, and it had become even greater well-known after the movie got here out. Kris became even more well-known after the 1976 film A Star is Born. He performed John Norman Howard, a rock celebrity who became, having a hard time with repute and pills. A Golden Globe Award and a famous call came from this component. Kris wasn't even the primary choice for the part, which is atypical. Kris became even the primary choice for the part, which is atypical. At first, Elvis Presley taken into consideration, but his boss desired Elvis to get more interest than Barbra Streisand. Family, if you spot a rainbow, recognize that God is glad with anybody. It become a lovely and smooth manner to take into account him. People all around the international sent Kris Kristofferson words of love and recognize while he died. Barbra Streisand, who played his co-star in A Star is Born, advised a unique tale. She may want to keep in mind the primary time she noticed him play, which turned into On the Troubadour in Los Angeles. She stated, "I knew right away that he turned into something unique. In the film, they had top-notch chemistry. They stayed precise friends for existence." Dolly Parton additionally told him how she felt, and known as him a wonderful friend, creator, and actor, she instructed him, "I love you always." A honor from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was a marvel. He told lots of human beings something they didn't recognize. When he turned into acting, Kris helped him out. He advised Kris that he taught him to be true to himself as a performer. He said that Kris had helped him do well in Hollywood. This confirmed how a good deal Kris affected people's lives. No longer simply music, but also the lives of younger artists. Kris's family had massive plans to celebrate him. They told all of us approximately The Kris Kristofferson Foundation on October 5, 2024. The young singers and artists who don't have a lot of money will get help from this charity. 10 smart human beings will each get $50,000 to assist them comply with their desires. Kris's 89th birthday were on June 22, 2025. His circle of relatives additionally planned a unique display referred to as Me and Bobby McGee for that date. The occasion will honor Kris Kristofferson and take vicinity at the Hollywood Bowl. Well-regarded musicians like John Prine and Willie Nelson will play, and all the cash raised will go to the charity. Lisa, Kris's spouse, stated something greater personal. She said she became going to finish Kris's unwritten autobiography, Highwaymen, My Life in Words and Music. His very own tales and memories from his own family and friends can be inside the ebook. Fans gets to understand Kris's lifestyles, his time within the provider, his battles with dependency, and his rise to repute better. On October 15th, some weeks later, the circle of relatives told everyone something they were maintaining secret for years. Kris had a rare sickness called Lewy body dementia for 7 years. That's why he stopped being public in 2020. Kris didn't need human beings to reflect on consideration on how unwell he turned into. He desired human beings to recall what he did. He stored writing songs and poems even if matters had been difficult for him. His circle of relatives said that his remaining works would be placed out in a set known as The Last Outlaw, Final Thoughts and Melodies. There will be 15 songs and spoken word portions in this file that Kris wrote in his final years, but there was something even greater unexpected. Kris had been writing an ebook referred to as The Silver-Tongued Devil. It's approximately a rustic singer who is having problem remembering things and searching out forgiveness. Kris were given nearly performed with it before he failed. Ethan Hawke, a close friend of his, will end the ebook. It will pop out in past due 2025. These instances show that Kris never stopped making artwork, even when matters got hard. His family and friends are making sure that his message goes on through his music, the people he helped, and the artwork he left behind.